Imagine a 20-year-old girl from a small town in the Philippines. She isn't just killing time in the locker room right now. She's gearing up to step onto the same court as the four most dangerous tennis players on the planet. There was no grueling qualifying round and no charity wildcard handed out by some sympathetic official. She earned her spot in this bracket through a sequence of events so wild a Hollywood producer would reject the script for being too unrealistic. The reigning Olympic gold medalist Chiwan Jiang pulls out of Stuttgart just days before the first serve is even struck. A sudden physical setback. The official statement is brief, clinical and final, just like that one name jumps off the standby list and into the main draw. That name is Alexia, and the gauntlet waiting for her is absolutely brutal. Sabalenka Rybakina Gov Swiatek, the world's top 4 seeds, 1 bracket, 28 players and 0 easy outs. Critics will hear that and immediately claim she just got lucky. Fair point, the timing of Jiang's withdrawal was a massive break, no doubt about it. But luck does not place you at the very top of the alternate list. Luck does not build a world-class ranking. That position was forged brick by brick over a 12-month grind that has left the rest of the tour scrambling to keep up. To truly grasp the magnitude of what is happening in Stuttgart this week, you have to look back at Miami in March of 2025. That was the epicenter, even if no one felt the tremor at the time. Alex enters as a wild card, a relative unknown, floating outside the top 70. No cameras are tracking her warm-ups and no analysts are digging through her stats. She's just background noise in a sea of superstars until she starts winning. First round, Katie Volinets is gone. Second round, Jelena Ostapenko is out. She keeps rolling match after match until she's standing across the net from Iga Swiatek in the quarterfinals. Facing a 5-time Grand Slam champion and the undisputed queen of clay, Alex dismantles her in straight sets 6-2, 7-5. She's down 4-2 in the second set and does not blink, does not tighten up and does not retreat. She simply stays in the fight. At 19 years old, in only her second full season on the circuit, she tears apart a titan like it is just another Tuesday morning practice. She then pushes world number 4 Jessica Pegula to a 3-set war in the semifinals before finally running out of gas. But by then it did not matter. The tennis world had seen enough. A new force had arrived. Flash forward to 2026 and the rise has continued, though not without the usual turbulence that comes with a real underdog story. A semi-final run in Auckland opened the year on an encouraging note. Then came a deflating first-round exit in Melbourne to Alicia Parks, followed by a quick loss in Qatar. Then came Dubai, and Dubai flipped the script once again. She walks into the Dubai Championships and puts on the most dominant performance of her professional life. Jasmine Paolini, the world number 8, gets crushed 6-1, 7-6. That is Alex's third career top 10 scalp, and she did not get it because her opponent was having an off day. Paolini is a French Open finalist, a rock-solid player who consistently shows up at the elite level. Alex wipes her out in under an hour in that opening set. She follows it up by beating Sara Errani to reach the quarters before dropping a nail-biter to Coco Gauff. But the actual result was not even the most important thing to come out of that tournament. What really mattered was how the conversation around her shifted. Her ranking climbed to a career high of 31. A week later, she hit 29, the first Filipino player, male or female, to ever crack the world's top 30. Let that sink in for a moment. We are talking about a nation of over 100 million people and a century of tennis history. No one had ever reached those heights before, not once. And here is this 20-year-old from Pasig City making history like it is just another item on her to-do list. Indian Wells brings a solid run to the round of 16. Miami 2026 sees her return to the site of her big breakthrough, reaching the final 16 again before running into Karolina Muchova on a nightmare afternoon. 6-0, 6-2. That scoreline does more than just sting, it echoes. You do not forget getting bageled at this level. It follows you if you let it. Her ranking slips back to 46. The narrative starts to shift. The hardcourt swing has been long and physically punishing, and now comes the clay season, which has historically been the exact moment where Alex's game starts to fall apart at the seams. Her statistics on the dirt are genuinely alarming. In 2022, she managed only 1 win against 2 losses. In 2023, she did not win a single match on clay. 2024 saw 3 wins from 9 tries. Last year, she went 2 for 6, including a quick exit in her first French Open. Red clay has never been her friend, and the reasons are very specific. Her entire game is built on pure aggression and perfect timing. She wants to attack the ball early before it settles and blast through her opponents with raw pace and depth. On hard courts, where the bounce is clean and true, that style is lethal. On clay, the ball sits up and hangs in the air forever. 3-shot rallies transform into 10-shot wars of attrition where stamina and patience matter as much as shot quality. The surface rewards heavy top-spin elite sliding and the mental toughness to grind through long exchanges without losing your cool. Those things do not come naturally to Alex. Her team knows it. She knows it. So in the tiny window between the hardcourt finale and the clay opener, the real work begins. She's back in Mallorca at the Rafa Nadal Academy, the place she's called home since leaving the Philippines at 13 to chase a dream the world called impossible. She's grinding on the indoor clay under Tony Nadal, the mastermind who spent decades molding the greatest clay court warrior the sport has ever seen. Just imagine that a girl from Manila refining her footwork and geometry with the man who engineered Nadal's total dominance on these very courts. If you're looking for a better classroom to master the art of clay court tennis, it simply doesn't exist on this planet. Alex speaks about those sessions with pure intensity. She's learning to feel the ball, trust the slide, and sprint back after being pushed to the limits. She's mastering how to read the bounce instead of fighting it, and her movement is worlds ahead of where it was just a year ago. When she mentions having Tony Nadal in her corner, there's a gravity to it that goes way beyond simple coaching gratitude. He understands the red dirt at a molecular level, and she's absorbing that legendary wisdom at the exact moment she needs it most. Her first real gauntlet is the Linz Open in Austria, a 500-level indoor clay event that perfectly mirrors the conditions waiting for her in Stuttgart. She kicks off with a dominant 6-4, 6-3 win over Julia Graber. Her footwork is sharp, her choices are clean, and then comes the fourth seed, Ostapenko. A former French Open titan and the defending Linz champ Ostapenko spent last year dismantling legends like Swiatek and Sabalenka on this very surface. On clay, she's a different beast entirely. Her flat, hyper-aggressive ball striking, which can feel chaotic elsewhere, becomes a lethal weapon on the dirt. She finds a terrifying rhythm on clay that makes her nearly impossible to stop once she catches fire. Alex clearly didn't get the memo. She comes out swinging snatches the opening set and proves she absolutely belongs in the conversation. Then in the second set, she catches lightning in a bottle and storms to a 5-1 lead. She's just 2 games away from forcing a decider against the defending champ. Then the air in the arena suddenly shifts. With her back against the wall, Ostapenko starts redlining every shot. Balls that have no business landing start painting the lines. She's firing winners from impossible defensive positions. You can feel the momentum swinging before anyone can even process what's happening. 5-1 vanishes into 5-3, then 5-5, and suddenly it's 7-5. Heartbreak. The match is over. Alex stands at the net stunned, trying to process how a victory that was 6 points away just slipped through her fingers. A collapse that heavy can haunt a player for months. That suffocating weight of losing a massive lead is enough to break anyone. But there's a grit in Alex that the stat sheets and numbers will never be able to capture. She doesn't let losses weigh her down. Think back to Miami down 4-2 in the second against the world's best player. She never flinched. She doesn't freeze. She fights. She's been in the pressure cooker against top 10 players multiple times now, and her response is always identical. She rises, the Linz loss to Ostapenko stings, but it proved one vital thing her clay game can dismantle, a Grand Slam champion. She finally has the proof that her movement has evolved enough to dominate on this surface at the highest level. Now she just needs to develop that killer instinct, the ability to maintain a 5-1 lead, instead of letting the comfort soften her edge. That's a mental war as much as a physical one, and it's exactly what she's sharpening every single day before Stuttgart. Now she's headed to Stuttgart without playing a single qualifier, and that statement matters more than you might think. The Porsche Tennis Grand Prix is held on indoor clay inside the Porsche Arena, where the surface plays much faster than traditional outdoor dirt. The ball zips through the court, serves are harder to track, and aggressive players who strike first thrive here in ways they wouldn't in Paris. That environment is tailor-made for Alex. She wants to dictate the pace. She wants to be the one in control. She wants to charge forward and blast through her opponents before they ever get a chance to set their feet. Indoor clay rewards that aggression, giving her a massive edge this week. But let's be clear, the draw is a total bloodbath. Aryna Sabalenka has been an absolute wrecking ball in the women's game for the better part of 2 years. Elena Rybakina's serve remains one of the most terrifying weapons in the sport, regardless of the court surface. Iga Swiatek on clay is still the gold standard, the ultimate benchmark for every player on tour, even on her off days. Coco Gauff brings elite athleticism and a tactical mind that has evolved tremendously over the last 18 months. Beyond the top four, you've got Mira Andreeva, the teen prodigy playing with total freedom, and Muchova, who recently handed Alex a tough loss. Barbara Krejcikova, a former French Open champ, reads the clay court game as well as anyone in the entire bracket. Then there's Ostapenko, the defending champ, plus Navarro, Fernandez and Mertens. It's a gauntlet of champions. Every single match in this draw is going to feel like a championship final, but here's what the statistics don't show about Alex. She plays her best tennis when the stakes are at their highest. Her record against top 10 talent is far more dangerous than her rank suggests. She doesn't shrink in big moments, she expands. She carries the hopes of an entire nation, and that pressure has forged a different kind of competitor. Maybe it's the result of leaving everything behind at 13 to survive and thrive in a foreign land. Surviving the cutthroat world of pro sports while still figuring out who the hell she is as a teenager. She plays with a raw, unshackled confidence that almost no 20-year-old on the planet can match. Back home in the Philippines, every match is a national holiday. Each win is a headline. Each loss is an autopsy performed by over 100 million people who are living and dying with every swing. That kind of mountain has crushed elite athletes before turning raw talent into paralysis and ambition into total anxiety. Alex just swallows that pressure and turns it into pure high-octane fuel. She lives for the flag, desperate to show every kid in Manila a level of greatness they've never actually seen before. She carries that whole nation through the tunnel and onto the baseline every single time. And right now in the Philippines, millions are glued to their screens for a week of tennis history they never thought possible. Remember this. Remember the alternate who only got the call because a gold medalist took a fall. Remember when the odds were impossible, the surface was wrong and the draw looked like a suicide mission. Because if Alex Ila's journey proves one thing, it's that she was forged in the fire for moments exactly like this.